This conference will now be recorded.
So before we jump into the concepts of the Selenium and all, there was a poll I have raised in the group that what are the different open source tools in the market. I hope everyone has gone through the poll, right? So with that, I will start the topic for the day. So first of all, what are the different automation tools present in the market? Because there are many test automation tools, but what are the tools that are present in the market currently? Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, RPA, Automation Anywhere, six Tosca, seven Catalan Studio. Yeah. So these are the main tools that are famous in automation, right? So out of this is a paid tool. This is a paid tool. This is a paid tool. Got it? There is another thing called as Ranorex. That's also a paid tool. So Catalan Studio, Cypress, Playwright, Selenium, these are all freeware tools. Is this clear, guys? Everyone? Pramila, Swapnil, Suguna.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So Appium is part of Selenium family. Okay, it doesn't come under as a separate tool. Okay, not this point. Appium is a part of Selenium, is derived from Selenium family. So out of this, Catalan Studio is somewhere is building a tool on the similar lines of Selenium. So it's building the tool on similar lines of Selenium, but not an exact. But the success rate is yet to success rate is something not positive. When it comes to Cypress and Playwright, Cypress primarily we can do the scripting only in JavaScript and supports Chrome and Firefox browser. Got it? We can work only in Windows. Cypress works only in Windows because we are using Microsoft Visual Studio for coding. Clear, guys? And size of the library is also pretty huge. Got it? Playwright is something. This is from Microsoft company only directly. This Playwright. So it works only on Windows operating system. Scripting can be done in JavaScript, TypeScript, and Java also, but it supports Chrome browser predominantly. Got it? Got it, guys? Clear?
Yes.
Any doubts?
No.
So, out of which, why Selenium is the leading tool in the market? It is platform independent. That means it can work in various operating systems. Works in Mac, Linux, and Windows. Supports multiple programming languages like Java, C Hash, Python, Ruby, Perl, JavaScript, etc. It's one of the lightweight softwares. Second thing is it is an open source tool. Why companies are focusing majorly on open source tools? Because not all companies are having the luxury or liberty to spend lakhs and lakhs on automation tools. Okay, supports various browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, etc. Since it supports various browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Safari, it also supports us to do cross-browser testing. So what is cross-browser testing? Can anyone say? What is cross-browser testing? Guess what is cross-browser testing? Can anyone say? Guess, are you there?
Maybe testing the application in different browsers, like in Chrome, once we'll test the application, how it is working, and then we'll move to Safari or different, that is cross-browser testing. I'm not sure.
Hmm. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be fine. It's okay. It's okay. So how about others? Run test in multiple browsers at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, it's a practice of verifying the web application work as expected across the many different web browsers and OS means operating system and different devices also. We can verify the same functionality on different browser with different
Hmm.
operating system.
Okay. Okay. That's great. So Pramila, Suguna, Savita.
Testing the same functionality in different browsers at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Okay. So supports us to do cross-browser testing. Like what is cross-browser testing? Supports us to do the execution in different browsers at the same time. Like same test case can be ran in different browsers. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Supports us to do parallel testing. Generally, if we have 10 test cases, how do we do 10 test cases? We execute one test case after the other, right? Like एक टेस्ट केस होने के बाद दूसरा करना है ना. I mean, after one test case, we take up another test case and we finish it up, right? That is what we do it, right, in real time and
Yes.
manual testing.
Yes.
So parallel testing is what, like sometimes I have 10 test cases and I want to execute them in 5 different browsers. So what will happen? 5 test cases will be executed simultaneously. Once this 5 is completed, then remaining 5 will be executed. So the time spent on executing the test cases is very less, right, compared to your manual flow, like executing the test case one after the other.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. These are the primary advantages of uh, using Selenium. Since there's a saying like every coin has two sides, right? We know the advantages of it. Let us know a bit of disadvantages also. Let us know the limitations of a tool. Does not support image processing, comma, audio and video testing, as we have discussed yesterday in this class, in the class. Does not have an inbuilt reporting mechanism. We need to use some third-party tools to generate the reports. Okay, does not have an inbuilt reporting mechanism. Does not have an integration with test management tools like Jira, Qtest, HPALM, Azure DevOps. Need Might need to use some third-party plugins. Having a good knowledge on a programming language is a must when you're using Selenium. Is this clear, guys, so far?
Yes.
And one more point I forgot to tell in advantages is easy to set up. Is this clear, guys? The disadvantages.
Yes. Pretty much clear.
So what is one of the lightweight software in the sense?
Lightweight software is it's like the setup of a Selenium jar is almost like 4 MB or 3 MB. That's it.
Okay, is it install? That's what it
It's
meant.
not install. It's just like we can add it as a library. That is the
Okay.
beauty of this Selenium.
Mhm. Okay.
We can just simply add it as a library.
And and to perform the parallel testing, do we need to use any tool?
No, within Selenium only you have it.
Okay.
In the olden days, they used to. In the olden days, they used to do Uh, they used to use Selenium Grid to do parallel testing in the olden days, in initial days. Nowadays, Selenium Grid is used by very few people, and they are going for parallel testing. If they want to really do parallel testing, they are going for parallel testing concept in Selenium. Okay.
Uh, Hi, good morning. The point 5 and 6 actually it supports various browser like you mentioned, for
Hmm.
example, and 6 supports us to do cross browser testing, which is same, right? Point 5 and 6. It's a different
Like
browser will be cross.
there's a difference. Like I want to run the same test cases in Firefox, I can do that. If you want to run the specific test case in Edge, I can do it. What is cross-browser testing is, now I have a test case Y. The same test case should behave the same in Chrome, should behave the same in Firefox, should behave the same in Edge. That is called as cross-browser testing.
Okay, the same test case we are executing the different browser. That is
Yes,
what
yeah,
cross browser, right?
yes, yes.
Mm.
Uh,
It is
you
it
meant to
kind of like,
say,
yeah,
Yeah,
it is
one
kind
of
of like parallel only, right? Across the same browser if you
parallel
run at a
testing.
time.
Yeah, parallel is something else. Like I want to run 5 different test cases at a time. That is called as parallel testing. Cross-browser testing is same test case I want to run in multiple browsers. At the end of the day, it's a
Okay,
single test case, and I can't launch multiple browsers at a time. And I'm doing cross-browser testing. After the code execution is completed in one browser, then only I can open another browser. Okay.
okay. So cross browser, same test case across the different browser. Parallel is
Hmm.
a different test case across the different
In different
browser, correct?
yes, yeah. Like I have a Chrome browser where I need to execute 10 test cases. So instead of executing one test case after the other, I will execute like 5 test cases at a time. I will execute. That means 5 different Chrome browsers I'll open and I'll execute it.
Okay.
Hmm.
you meant to say the functionality will be checked or how it will be? I mean, little confused here.
Which area, which points you're confused? Just tell me
Yeah,
which points.
cross-browser testing.
So you have a test case like login scenario. Do you
Okay.
consider that the login scenario is working fine in same as Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari?
Sure. Yes, yes.
Not verbally saying, you have to prove it, right? You have to
Yes.
pull out the evidences and show it that it is working properly in all the browsers. Because if you go in Edge, again the page orientation is different. If you go in Firefox, again the page look and feel is somewhat different. We should avoid all those things, right? The login page, the login functionality should be the same across all the browsers. That is called cross-browser testing. Parallel testing is, I
You
want
mean
to
to say the functionality, you mean to say the functionality should be the same across the browsers.
functionality and the UI both.
Okay. Okay, okay. Parallel means?
I have 10 test cases. I don't want to run one after the other. So what I can do, I can trigger 5 test cases at a time parallelly, and all the 5 test cases will be executed simultaneously. Once it is done, then it will pick up the next set of 5 test cases.
Okay. By considering all the dependencies, you mean to say.
Yes, by considering all the dependencies and all the permutations and combinations.
Okay. Thank you.
So these are the advantages and disadvantages of Selenium. Hmm. So how many of you know what is the software development lifecycle? Can someone explain for the class what is the software development lifecycle with the help of this image reference? Guys, Can anyone step in and explain?
Uh, yeah, yes, sir. From the picture point of view, the project, the first, we have your different phases in the software development life cycle, which is shown in the images. The first as the project kickoff and initiation. So where, so all the project will be started and the team, everything is finalized here.
Hmm.
The project details from the client side, everything, and then we are going to requirement gathering. What is the actually client needed for this
Mm-hmm.
particular thing. We clearly gathering the requirement. We are finalizing the requirement,
Hmm.
and then we are going to analysis. And in this analysis, the developer will analyze or what's their expectation. Then they are
Hmm.
going to design mode and development. It is coding, actually designing and coding.
Mm-hmm.
This comes part of the designing and development phase. Once the
Hmm.
development is completed, then they are moving to the they are deploying their code in the testing environment for the testing. So
Hmm.
the tester will take the STLC process, software testing lifecycle. So where it is performed in testing phase. So once the
Hmm.
testing is completed, it will deploy the production environment.
Hmm.
So the on the production environment again, the testing will be taken care. And yeah, so if they have were there any observations, again they will come to the maintenance as a PR in
Hmm.
the operation and maintenance phase.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
That's good. How about others? Anyone could step in and explain about this?
What else Suguna said, it's almost the same. In the requirements gathering phase, mostly the business analyst and the management team involves, where the interaction is between the client and the
Hmm.
project management. So BA will involve and gather the requirements, and that in the next phase there they'll design the software requirement specification document comes into picture, and then in the
Hmm.
analysis phase, all the requirements details gathered, whether it is they'll make sure everything is clear, and they the sign off documents, they'll freeze the documents. That means uh, sign off will happen, and then design phase, everything will goes on like that. Whatever she said, the phase will
Okay.
continue.
Okay. Great. Great. So I hope everyone is clear with the software development lifecycle, right? The initial points. So here, what is the point that I'm trying to discuss here? The software development lifecycle with respect to automation. So what is the main, where does the automation team involvement get started? There are two different ways where the automation teams can start involving. During the initial stage of the during the initial stage of the project, yeah, during the initial stages of the project, like during the analysis and design phase, the automation team can be part of this process and join and see what is exactly happening. Because in this phase, you will try to understand how the application is turning out to be, what are the different mock UI screens that is turning out to be, what are the different complexities that is being put in place. So based on that, we can develop a framework skeleton or framework design according to the application and according to the needs. And when the team is developed, when the developers are developing the application, in that time we can streamline the framework and stabilize it as per the uh, project needs and requirements. Yeah, once that is done, during the testing phase, what will happen? The manual testing team will do certify a one round of testing and say that this is good to go for further testing. Once they certify that the application is good to go for one sprint, while the testing team is working on the second sprint, we'll be picking up the test cases of the first sprint and we'll be trying to finish that. Okay, is this point clear, guys? Like how do we start and how do we pick the test cases? Always manual testing team will be one sprint ahead of us till the product is gone live. Okay. Once all the automation testing is done and deployed into the customer end, so someone should do a round of smoke test. Someone should do a round of sanity check in the higher environments or higher operations. That time automation is very much useful because sometimes there is a restriction from the client that not none of the team from offshore should be able to access that application. Only our team should be allowed to use it. Yeah, got it? Got it, guys?
Yes.
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 So that time when we build an automation suite and run it in DevOps model or someone will run it manually, that time it is very easy for the it is easy for the company to really analyze the failures, and if there are any major failures, the software development team can pick it up and fix it up, or it's easy to find early defects. The main agenda of automation in with respect to smoke testing is to find early defects in different environments. Okay. Or there is another way where automation team can enter into the picture. After all the manual testing part is certified completely, like once the project is gone live, that time the project will be going into maintenance mode. When the project goes into maintenance mode, then it starts ramping, like the project manager will start ramping down the resources. During that time, we can build an automation suite. Like after the project is gone live, after everything, after the completion of the project, also we can pick up automation. Or if you want to be pretty sure enough, like during by the time it reaches the production phase, I want my scripts to be ready so that I can test it in multiple environments. So there are two ways of looking at the automation with respect to software development lifecycle. How you approach the automation, how you decide it is up to you and your higher management. Got it? But implementing automation is becoming a kind of necessary in most of the companies. How do they implement, which ways do they pick it up and implement is their choice. Okay. Clear, Savita, Subina. So, what is the software testing life cycle? Can anyone say what is the software testing life cycle?
Different steps involved in testing, starting from the requirement analysis till the testing closes.
Mm-hmm. How about others?
Yes, it is kind of seeing them like how the SDLC they have many. It is part of one phase testing. In testing phase, we are taking the different steps
Mm,
from the requirement analysis to till disclosure activities. As it
mm,
is, once we completed the requirement analysis, once the developer finished their code, they will deploy their code in the testing environment. So
mm,
parallelly, we will be planning our test cases as part of test planning. So then the as
mm,
part of test planning, we will prepare the planning document, test plan document. And yeah, and the test planning document includes like estimations, how many efforts and how many resource, and
mm,
what are the test approaches, what are the types of testing is required, and what are the so all those things we will be preparing as a document. Then we are moving to the test case development, where we are preparing the test scenario. For that, we will preparing the test case. So test case is a detailed document of the test scenario document. And
mm,
we need to set up the environment. uh, then test execution we have to perform as per the test case document what we have prepared. Then test cycle, closure activities with the report. So test log, where we are preparing uh, as the expected result and actual
mm.
result. That's all.
Okay, nice. That's great. So I hope everyone is clear with this STLC, right? Or should I discuss it once again? Ramila, Savita, Dinesh, Naid.
I'm good.
It's clear.
So this is what is out about ST. Yes, Savita.
No, no, clear, clear.
So under the Selenium suite, what are the different families? Under the Selenium family, what are the different tools that we have? Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. These are the four different tools that we have in Selenium. Okay, clear?
Yes.
So, so there's an interesting thing how Selenium tool has been founded. Selenium is founded in the year 2004 by an employee at ThoughtWorks called Jason Higgins. So basically, he has invented this tool to do his round of unit testing because he was lazy enough to do this unit testing all the time manually. So that was his major problem. So that is the reason he has founded this tool called as Selenium. Primarily, it was supposed to do a round of unit testing to check whether the code is working properly or not. Okay, why this person has invented a tool called as Selenium? Why not? Oh, because in those days there was another tool also called as RPA. In the in the year 2003 to 4, there is a tool called as QTP. How many of you heard this word called QTP? How many of you know the word QTP, guys? Suguna, Pramila, Savita. Yeah, Suguna and Swapnil. Yes, you both of you know. So there was a tool called as QTP. Now, now it is renamed to RPA because HP has brought the product. Now, which was one of the leading tools in those times, which was one of the leading tools in those times. But RPA is one of the most expensive tools to use. That is the main reason he has invented this open source tool. Okay, so this is how Selenium is founded in the year 2004, guys. Clear? The tool that was the first tool of Selenium family is called as Selenium IDE. Okay, the first tool. that Mr. Jason Higgins has invented is Selenium IDE. So that is the first tool of Selenium IDE, Selenium family. First and foremost tool. What does the Selenium IDE stand for? Selenium IDE is, it is a record and playback tool. No coding experience required. Basic knowledge of HTML is an advantage. Got it? Got it, guys? How the Selenium tool is founded? What is the first tool of a Selenium? What is the first tool of Selenium family? So these are the these are the things about Selenium IDE. Till 2018, this tool was supposed to work in only in Firefox browser, but it supports Chrome browser also. So is it clear, guys? Swapnil, Suguna, Pramila, Dinesh, and all. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So this Selenium IDE, to be brutally honest, in real time we are not using it anywhere. This is just only for the interview. Like when someone asks you what is a Selenium family and explain the different things about Selenium family, that time only it will be pretty useful for you. Apart from that, it is not even used anywhere in any of the companies. Okay, I'm just telling you upfront this thing. Since it's a part of the course, I have to explain, but in the reality it is not necessary. Only for your interview. So how do you download Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE for Chrome. Okay. Then I click on the Selenium IDE. So as I've told you, this is an extension to the browser. It is not a plugin. It is an extension. So it is very lightweight. I just remove this extension for you all. Then I add back the extension. I click on add extension. Now the extension has been added to the Chrome. Is it clear, guys, how I've added the extension?
Yes.
Yes.
So how do I open this extension? You need to click on this extensions icon. Then I click on Selenium IDE. Then this page opens up like this. The welcome screen comes up. Do you want to record a new test in a new project, open an existing project, or create a new project, or close Selenium IDE? So what I will do, since it's the first time I'm doing it, I will click on record a new test in a new project. What is the project name? Okay, I will create a project name of my choice, and for what application you want to do a recording of it. Got it? For which URL you want to perform the record and playback action. Okay, I'll click on start recording. Once I click on start recording, and I'll click on live scores, then I can open this page. Then I can click on this scorecard. Then I can click on this squads, highlights, full commentary, live log, match facts, news, photos. Then you can click on this. Now what I will do, I will stop the recording here. There's an option to stop the recording here, and I'll stop the recording. So what is the test case name? I can put whatever name I want. Page navigations. Okay. Now I have recorded this flow. Now if I want to play back, I can click on run current test. Got it guys, clear?
Yeah.
Any doubts? Any doubts guys so far? So once this is done, now what I want to do, if I want to reduce the speed of the execution, I can click on this timer and reduce the speed of the execution, and I can play the same test case again. You can record the flow once and you can play back n number of times. Okay. Now the speed of the execution is very slow. Is this clear guys? Any doubts? How it got executed?
Yes.
This is how the test case will be executed, in a slower pace or in a faster pace. Now you see you have a dedicated logging mechanism of what are the actions that have been performed. Yeah, you have a dedicated tab of whatever the actions that has been performed. Got it? So what are the disadvantages of using the Selenium IDE? If the UI of the screen changes, then we have to record everything from the scratch. We cannot do any sort of validations for the test cases. Like no conditional and looping statements can be used. The execution speed of the script is pretty slow compared to Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver. It is best used for demonstrating the prototype of a product. Like, what do you mean by prototype of a product? Now we have just a half of a flow and you want to just show a prototype of how the flow is happening. So you can record those actions with the Selenium IDE and you can play back so that the customer will be having a look and feel of what is happening exactly. Clear? Is this clear, guys? We cannot
Yes.
make we cannot make any changes in the script accordingly as per our needs. So whatever the flow that is, whatever the script you see has been recorded, this is the final thing. If you want to add some validation, if you want to change it as per the requirements, it will not work out. Okay, clear, guys, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So what are the slides that I have? So we have discussed about Selenium IDE. Yeah. So can we discuss about Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver in the tomorrow's class, because it will take some time. It will not be finished in 5-10 minutes.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
So any doubts, any queries, questions, will be open to answer. If you don't have any queries or questions, you can drop, else you can stay back and ask.
One question: when we start the practical thing after theory?
So there are two more topics remaining. First is Selenium RC and WebDriver, then we go to the software installation, that is tomorrow only.
Okay, then
So the Selenium IDE generally in the market we are not using, right?
Yeah, we are not using anywhere in the market, but for the sake of interview, you need to have some knowledge of what is what.
Okay, fine. Thank you.